Okay, guys, on today's show, we have a very exciting interview with Dan from Sidus Heroes. There's so much that we're going to cover in this interview. Everything from the intellectual property they have, the unique game engine that they built themselves, which makes them different from any other game on the planet, is incredibly interesting. The in-game mechanics and ability to earn during this is absolutely mind-blowing. The amount of depth and research development that's gone into it, you will find out when you watch this. The amount of supporters they have backing this is absolutely stunning. It should perform extremely well with all the exchanges, the VCs, influencers, everything that's backing this project. And we're also going to give away not only a Genesis Sidus NFT, but as well as 2 whitelist spots on Paid Ignition. Make sure that you watch until the very end to find out how you can win these opportunities that could be potentially life-changing. Let's dive into it. Dan, I'm going to bring you on, and I want you to first tell me, what is the name Sidus and where did it all come from?
Yeah, good day, guys, and thanks for having me today, Kyle. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be in this show. Sidus actually means night sky from Latin and the Greek, old ancient Greek, I guess. So tell
me, I think a lot of people are drawing a comparison between Sidus to something like Star Atlas, and I'd like to know, how does it differentiate itself from Star Atlas?
Yeah, well, Sidus is a browser game, right? So that's the most important parts to start with, I guess, because Star Atlas is using Unreal Engine 5, and they're kind of getting stick to those expensive devices that people have to use to play their game. When we've created our own gaming engine on the top of the WebGL HTML5 layer, and that allowed us to create a game like Sidus to be accessible from any browser on your devices. That could be an old iPhone, or it could be a PC with the powerful graphic card. It doesn't really matter what it is, but yeah, you can play the game from the browser, and that makes it really accessible. So it makes it accessible for many people around the world without a need to have those expensive devices in place, right? So that's the point number one. Point number 2 is that we have a completely different storyline. So we are actually about to publish the storyline on the website. It's like we have a special author. He's a very well-known author for science fiction books and futuristic stuff that he did in the past for movies and writing books in the past, which we'll announce later. But he's actually writing a book for us, right, called Sidus Heroes, and the book itself is kind of like a story. A story of the entire game that is actually based on the original story made by us. And in the future, we do plan to maybe even make a movie around Sidus using those unique characters that we're designing from scratch. So for us, it's all about the uniqueness, all about this exclusivity that other games don't have sometimes, because many games are just copy each other as many times as possible and creating the same gamifying process over and over again, where we're sort of trying to create a whole process from scratch. This is why it takes us so much time to make it happen. And for us to offer that experience, we have a huge team, over 150 people working on it non-stop in the last 12 months. And we've been preparing a lot of materials that I'm sure you can see on the website. If you do a bit of a due diligence and these in-game economics that you would see on the website, it actually describes clearly those in-depth knowledge that we've placed inside of this game, including how the whole thing is going to happen, what will be the story behind it, what are the actions you can possibly do inside of this game, who you can become to rule the Sidus Station, how the political scheme works, and many other things as well. So I think one of the other factors that differentiates us from Star Atlas or any other game out there is kind of uniqueness in a way of our own storyline and many extra layers that incentivize players to play this game and enjoy it in a full-on capacity. And the last point that I want to raise is that this game is all about dedication, because we are trying to make a game that pays people off, not just because it's a play-to-earn model or it's a gamified game, and we're trying to create as much hype as possible around that game, but we're actually trying to make a game that it has a mixture of different elements coming from No Man's Sky, EVE Online, Mass Shock, and like Star Wars and many other places, but make it in a very, very unique way. So when people play this game, in order for them to have a spaceship, they have to build a spaceship instead of just simply going and buying one. So, it's a dedication that, because, when you spend 2 weeks of building the spaceship inside of the game and spending a lot of resources and time in it, it becomes a very sentimentally valuable asset to you, not because you bought it from somewhere, but because you've spent so much time. It's more important than anything you can buy for money. So this game is all about your time. If you dedicate time, you will become someone that people will be dreaming of to be in our metaverse. So yeah, there are a lot of things that are making us quite different, I guess.
And there's so many questions that came up just from that little overview. So I think it's really important to talk about the game engine. Like this is not only will your game be unique for the storyline, the graphics, the team behind it, obviously, but this game engine creates a unique intellectual property that is unique to you guys, right? And I guess that kind of leads into the second question that's tied in with this. This game engine allows this game to be played on any device, whether it's, correct me if I'm wrong, whether it's a $20, $50 smartphone or a $25,000 gaming desktop machine. Is that right?
Well, technically, yes. Like there are a lot of complexities involved. Like obviously, you should not expect the latest graphics if you're using a very old-fashioned device, right? Or if it's a cheap cell phone. But the system is self-optimized technology, which means more logins you do, better graphics you will obtain over time, because the system is trying to learn how to utilize your device in the best possible capacity and efficiency. So, it's going to learn. Like what you will see in January, for example, as the actual game, it will be much better a couple of months later, because everything is getting optimized more and more, and the number of frames you will see will be quite more substantially on any device that you use. It is correct to say, yes, you can play this game. We are trying to make a game for as many people as possible. So we're trying to make a game for a lot of third world countries, second world countries, first world countries. It doesn't really matter what countries are they, but we're trying to make a game that will be enjoyable to play for anyone around the world. And speaking of the game engine, yes, it is an IP for us. We've been designing for the last 4 years. We've been working hard in the WebGL HTML5 industry to make it happen. It is a very unique asset for us to have. We had a lot of proposals from some very large organizations around the world to acquire this and buy this engine. We haven't sold it because we believe that we're capable to build a game ourselves in that particular scale using this engine, and this is what's happening right now. We're building a game on our own engine, which will make this product even more unique comparing to the other players in the industry.
That's insane. So I guess going back to the 4 years mark of starting to build the engine, has your team, the same team that you have now, or a lot of its core team, been around for, like, when was the inception of Sidus, and so how long have you been working on this?
So, well, we've been in the crypto industry since 2015. So we sort of did a lot of blockchain work for many companies around the world. We did a lot of blockchain integrations into the HR systems, into the velocity systems for airline companies and many other places, right? So we did a lot of work as outsourcers, people actually hiring us to do some engineering work behind the scenes. Also, as game developers, we did a lot of work for the other companies as well. We did a lot of backends for many games out there. And we sort of, when you spend so much time creating products for the other people and project and companies out there, you are kind of going through the journey of realizing that, hey, why don't you create your own product? Why don't you utilize all of your experience and expertise in building something more substantial than just working for someone else? And it was a journey that we had to go through to realize that we are fully capable now to build a product that will become a worldwide golden standard for all browser games in the gamify space. And it took us some time to get there, but we eventually got there. So that was the plan. So it was a big dream for all of us, and we were a little bit scared of it because the scale of this project is enormous. And the same as Star Atlas, like, it will take a lot of time to execute it, right? We have 4.5 years of a roadmap. I'm sure you had a look at it, but it's I would say it's one of the most detailed roadmaps in the entire gamify industry, because we spent so much time thinking about every single quarter of the next year, the year after, to make sure that we execute everything in an efficient manner and in an accurate manner as well. So for us, it's important to be as accurate as possible, and people will see this progress happening every month. There will be new things coming up in the game. There will be new buildings coming up in the game, and many different things will pop up in your browser experience, which you will definitely enjoy. So we'll definitely provide this immersive experience that probably we were not ready to do 4 years ago, because we did not have too much knowledge and WebGL HTML5 as yet as we do now. So it was a very important process for us to go through to get to that point as we are right now.
Incredible. So you said that you're developing a book with an author and potentially maybe even a blockbuster movie one day. And you did mention that the NFTs or the characters might be in the movie and the book one day. So does that mean that if I go pick up one of the Sidus Heroes NFTs on OpenSea right now, that my character may be in the book or movie one day?
So the Genesis collection that you see right now has nothing to do with the game, to be honest. It's just a Genesis collection that was designed to be a creative masterpiece by more than 250 artists from the collaboration called NFT 256 and the leader Maxim Babayev, who actually worked for Disney before. So it was kind of like a pre-stage of the game when we launched the Genesis collection for people to get excited about in a very futuristic manner. We've made 10,000 handmade elements. We've made 2,500 handmade backgrounds. We've made a very unique generative AI system to mix these elements all together and then create these, we call them space junkies, because you've got a lot of different elements in a whole bunch of different characters. But these characters are cool because they're giving you a lot of benefits, because you as a Genesis holder, you will be capable to get a free in-game claimable NFT card that will be super valuable, because there will be a unique collection designed for these Genesis holders. There will be 6,000 characters created specifically for the Genesis holders to be claimed for free if you hold one of those Genesis NFT characters right now. And you will get this in-game character with a separate NFT on it that you will see that this character that you will see in the game will be on the actual NFT card, and all of the characteristics will also be mirrored towards the progress of the game. So if you are starting from level 0 and then you level up to level 2 or 3, IPFS DB system will mirror the whole progress onto your NFT card, and your NFT card will automatically change the characteristics from level 0 to level 3. So when you sell your NFT card, you are selling the entire progress of your game within this NFT card. So your NFT card is like an access to the game when you are entering the metaverse of Sidus. Speaking of the book, it will be awesome thing to have, right, to make a movie about it, but it will take time. We will need to build a lot of planets, we'll need to build a lot of characters, a lot of things. The exciting part is that we have a trailer coming up on the 10th of December before the IDO, and I'm telling you, I'm challenging many companies out there to show me the same quality of trailer as we will show to you guys on the 10th of December. It is a masterpiece that we've been preparing for quite a long time. It will give you a lot of in-depth details and information about the upcoming gameplay and the details of the game. But it is a really exciting trailer to watch. There will be these spaceship battles. You will see the incubation process. You will see how you can catch these rare creatures on different planets using some special equipment. You will see how these planets are differentiating from each other. Keep in mind, every planet in our game is like a new alluvium. When you land on the planet, you're getting into an immersive experience of these amazing landscapes. Like there will be planets of fire, there will be planets of electricity, there will be huge planets of water where you can actually swim underneath the water to see this world under the water. There will be a lot of things that you will see, and you will definitely enjoy, because that's going to be, as I said many times before in the AMA sessions in Twitter and YouTube, we're building a AAA Ubisoft level game, which means that we're building a game that can be easily a contester against, let's say, World of Warcraft and stuff like that. So this is going to be a massive game, at least to say. And we will only expand the number of employees who are actually going to work in this game from 150 to 300, 1,000, depending on the requirements of this game. But this game is definitely going to set up a very high standard for many gamify projects in this NFT play-to-earn space for sure.
That's amazing. When you talk about the graphics and the AAA, what can we expect as far as like running this on a really high-end machine? Are we going to get Unreal Engine 5 quality graphics or?
Yes. So we're aiming for, as I did mention, cinematic HD quality graphics, right? So when you enter it from the best possible machine that you can possibly buy, like right now I have a monitor, which is the latest monitor of Samsung. It's very big, curvy, and I have GeForce 3090 graphics video card. So when I access the game, I get the most unbelievable experience of graphics. Like everything is super detailed. When you enter the game from an iPhone 3, well, why should you expect the latest graphics, right? You will not get it. However, if you play it from a very powerful device, absolutely, you will see amazing details. You will see details that Illuvium do right now, Star Atlas, etc. All of these guys, but on the Unreal Engine 5. Except we are doing it on our own engine without anything need to download it or to be downloaded. All you do, you just type in play.sidusheroes.com and you enter this amazing journey and adventure.
You said time. Like one of the really interesting things about the game is the time aspect, the sentimental value, because it's one thing if we can just buy something or whatever, but you don't put that blood, sweat, and tears into creating something. And so building and time is a very valuable and interesting mechanic in Sidus. And I'm wondering, like, since we're traveling through galaxies, like how long would it make me, like, for example, will it take a significant amount of time to travel from one planet to the next or one galaxy to the next?
Yes. We have a lot of different mechanics inside of our game. If you go into the in-game economics of our document, there is a slide number 7 that actually explains the logical sequence between different space objects in our game. And every player is going to start their journey in the Sidus Station. The Sidus Station, as I've mentioned before in my other previous AMA sessions, it's similar concept to the movie called Valerian, the City of Thousand Planets, made by Luc Besson. And the movie and that station in this movie was made of different modules from different races, like humans, aliens. They've made this massive city called Valerian, or the City of Thousand Planets, and it took them thousands of years to build this city, but eventually it became like one of the biggest cities in the whole universe, where aliens live together with humans, and they've started to establish some partnership relationships, etc. So I got inspired by this movie, and Sidus Station is kinda Valerian, the City of Thousand Planets, but it obviously different. No plagiarism or copyrights are respected, right? So we are building it from scratch in a very unique design. And every player will start their journey. They will do some tradings, negotiations. They'll do some missions in the Sidus Station, and then once they're ready, they can buy a ticket via the robo shuttles or shuttles to visit certain places. Now, in our game, for example, there are 3 different types of planets that you will see. There will be thousands of them, but obviously there will be 3 different types. One of them are called unexplored planets. Unexplored planets are the planets that have not been explored by anyone from Sidus Station as yet. In order for you to explore the planet, you have to have a special spaceship called Scout Starship. The Scout Starship has to have a certain number of crew members, including navigation officer, pilot, the military officer, etc., to manage the entire spaceship, right? So when you travel in this particular type of the Scout Starship, you're able to travel around the universe and explore these planets that have a classification as unexplored. Now, for a planet to be explored, you have to spend some time on this particular planet. There will be up to 100, 200 or 300 hours that you have to spend on this planet. However, the tricky part is that we have anti-whale system in place. Means you can only spend half an hour per day per MetaMask wallet on the unexplored planet. The reasons why is because if you spend 24/7 on this planet, you will become a billionaire. There will be a lot of valuable resources. There will be a lot of valuable creatures running around. If you catch them all, you can sell them for millions and millions of dollars. So we don't want to give anyone an advantage to spend too much time on the unexplored planet because of the oxygen levels on their cylinders. So there will be half an hour per day, the amount of time you can spend on this particular planet. And the combination of all of your team members on this planet will be summed up together. And if you spend together 100 hours, this planet becomes automatically explored. Once you explore the planet, you can name it. So you can actually name the planet with your own name. You can make it Kyle's planet, for example, right? And that becomes Kyle's planet for the rest of the time. So it's on the blockchain, it's recorded within the block, and nobody can change it anymore. Once the planet becomes explored, then anyone can go to the special station, buy a robo shuttle ticket, and they can travel to this explore planet for 1 hour per day. So that anyone from Sidus Station, right? So people can travel there, they can spend as much, 1 hour per day, and they have to go back because of the oxygen cylinder levels. Again, the limitation is there. So we don't want to give anyone an advantage, because you will see a lot of things happening in this planet. People will try to take an advantage of local inhabitants. People will try to kill as many creatures as possible, or maybe catch some of them and incubate them to make them their companions. There will be a lot of valuable resources, artifacts, and many other things as well. So once the planet becomes explored, then the president of Sidus Station can colonize the planet. And this is an interesting aspect of the political scheme, which we can talk a little bit later. But the planet can be colonized using a special orbital station. Orbital station is a very substantial structure that will take months and months to be built. It's a very expensive structure to be built. But once it's built, it gives everyone an access to the planet as many times as they need. So there is no limitation anymore, and you can buy the land on this particular colonized planet. The land plot will be randomly offered in the auctions, where you can come and you can buy this land plot, and the land plot will have different types of resources which you can use to mine certain things, or find some precious stones, or find some ore materials, or wood that you can process into the things as well, etc. Like many different things there. Speaking of the traveling, if you have a military grade spaceship, which will take you weeks and weeks to make, and it's the biggest spaceship you can possibly have in our game, you can use this spaceship completely independently from all of these logical connections between robo shuttles, scout starships, etc., because there is no limitation for your engine for the particular military spaceship to travel in the space. So you can have as many travels as you want. There is no fuel limitation, because you're going to have a nuclear engine there. It means you can travel anywhere you want, and you can visit the planets that other people would never be able to visit unless they have this particular spaceship. It will take weeks, days to go to certain places. It's not an easy task, and there will be a lot of obstacles on the way. There will be asteroids, there will be comets, there will be some angry creatures in the space. Everyone will try to damage your spaceship. Everyone will try to take it over, and there will be pirates in the space as well that will be not really friendly at all. So there'll be a lot of things for sure that you have to keep an eye on. And obviously you've got to have the right team members and mates that are working with you alongside to make sure you don't get lost in the space, and you would not be able to go back to a space station. Otherwise you will simply get stuck in the space, right? There'll be a lot of interesting things which I don't want to share right now, but I'm sure you will see it in the game. Yeah.
So what happens when, like, if I'm trying to go to a certain planet and it's taking me days, and I've got my 3 or 5 or whatever, how many crew members on the ship, is there a pause button on the game, or do you have to take shifts?
It's an automatic process, right? So you just log in, and the ship is going towards the direction that you're taking, right? So if it sees there is something coming up, you'll get a notification in your desktop on your browser. So there'll be a notification. There is a planet appearing towards your direction. So you can there'll be a lot of different interfaces that you can use to sort of keep a track of the progress in the game. So if you log out, and the spaceship travels and passes the planet, well, we can't help you because you've passed the planet and you went further alone. So you're taking a risk. There was a game called Alex. I'm not really sure if you've heard about it. It's the game that was created by a Russian company. Let me check. I think it's called Alex.
Could I get destroyed by a pirate when I'm sleeping?
If you're getting destroyed, your spaceship can get damaged, and you'll get back to the Sidus Station automatically. So it will kick you back. and you will lose the entire progress of your traveling, right? So the Sidus Station is like an initial point of everyone, right? If you lose your land plot, it will kick you back to the Sidus Station. If you are getting killed, it will kick you back to the Sidus Station. If you're traveling in this space and you're getting killed by an asteroid or something like that, you're getting back to the Sidus Station. It's your business, but we will kick you back. So you're starting your journey from the start. There will be a lot of variations. For example, if you take over a planet and you decide to claim yourself as an independent leader from the Sidus Station political control, then you can run your own planet and you can declare a war against the Sidus Station, or you can declare a war against the other planets if you get a support from local inhabitants, right? Now, what you can do, you can become your own political leader. However, if you get killed on this planet and you lose control over a land plot on this planet, which is, by the way, limited to one MetaMask wallet per one land plot. We don't allow anyone to have more than one land plot per MetaMask wallet. You're getting kicked back to the Sidus Station because people can take over your land plot quite easily. They can kill all of your warriors and heroes in the game and all of the creatures around this land plot, and then you lose control over it because there will be someone else taking over control for resources and things. So there'll be a lot of action happening. That's why you have to have a backup either from your guild or from your mates who can look after you as well. It's the same as any other online game, right?
Man, it sounds absolutely absurd. Everything sounds completely like futuristic. Like this is happening like a Star Atlas timeline 7 years from now, 8 years from now. But how much of this is actually going to be playable, say, next year, and at what time next year?
We have a cycle, stage by stage launch. Once again, if you go into the in-game economics file, we have economic cycle of the project stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So in the stage 1, which will happen in January next year, you will expect limited content. Obviously, you will expect PvP battle arenas, you will expect tournaments. So when you are accessing the game, you can choose the heroes which you want to use for the fighting arenas. You can choose the properties which you want to put on these heroes, like weaponry, armor, gadgets, etc. And then you can enter the seasonal tournaments, which will have a certain seasonal timer. So the timer goes for, like, let's say 48 hours or 24 hours, and then you can enter the battle against other players. And if you win it, you get winning points or PvP points that take you to the top of the rating system. And then if you win the rating system and you're being top 50, for example, you get a loot box as a reward in exchange for your winning, which can potentially give you some valuable resources like gadgets, armor, weapons, cryptocurrencies, and many other things. And you can also improve your characteristics. So that's the stage number 1. That basically will make people feel like they're being a part of something amazing. And there will be a lot of battle arenas. There will be battle arenas that will make you think. This game is all about intelligent fighting, not just repetitive action over and over again. For the actual first cycle, there will be battle arenas that will make you think. There will be intelligent PvPs where people have to think about what strength and what weaknesses they have with their heroes, right? Let me give you an example. For example, when you enter the battle arena, you have to do a selection of your heroes, the ones that you believe will give you the most benefit in the battle arena, the most effective. There will be 3 different types of characters, or like at the beginning, we'll have 3 different races. One race will have a physical strength, the other race will have intelligence strength, the other race will have more of a magic spell strength. So you're going to be wise about the selection of heroes that you are using for the battle arenas. Now, there'll be a lot of environmental impact that you can potentially have during these battles, right? When you access the battle, the environment around you is super important. If you ignore it, the strengths of your spells or kicks will be substantially reduced. If you use the water spell, for example, in the planet of fire, and there is high temperature around you, the water will vaporize, right? So there will be not too much of a strength that you will get out of your skill. Whereas if you are in the bushes, for example, and you've got some magic mushrooms around you and they're starting to grow, if you don't shoot them in the right moment, they can explode, and there will be an electric shock wave that will affect all of the characters in the battle arena and will reduce your skills quite substantially. Or a toxic rains or a sandworm. So there will be a lot of things happening. So everything happens unpredictably. So while it's a turn-by-turn action, like, for example, comparing us to Illuvium, I like Illuvium. They're making a beautiful game. but it's a very repetitive. They just fighting against each other non-stop, like boom, 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 boom. You know, in our game, it's a turn by turn. It's more of a Heroes of Magic. It's an RPG game. You travel, you do anything you want, but once you access the battle, it becomes turn by turn. Okay, doesn't affect the spaceships. The spaceships battles will be more of a full-on intensity, where you're going to travel as quick as possible, use the laser blasters, etc., trying to kill the other spaceships. But the battle arenas for PvPs are slightly different. So you are trying to be intelligent about every single skill or an artifact or an NFT spell that you use against the other player. And that will make you think, because even if you fight against the most powerful player and you use the environment as your advantage, you can win the player, right? So you got to be very careful about all of your actions inside of the game and the strategy behind it. So it's kind of like more of a chess, you know, when you enter the PvP battle. So that's the first cycle. That's the first stage for you to expect in January, which is already quite exciting. Trust me, it will be bright, full of colors, amazing graphics. It will be full on. The second stage will be a little bit more, which will happen second or third quarter of the next year. And the final stage which will be a third stage, which will have robo shuttles, spaceships, planets. That will be around third or fourth quarter of the next year. So everything will be launched step by step. But because it's a cloud game, what happens is every day you will see things popping up in the game. So there'll be new characters, there'll be new in-game assets, there'll be new planets, battle arenas. You will see the difference every day inside of this game. And we don't need to go down to the maintenance for 24 hours to upgrade the entire game, because this is a cloud game. Everything we integrate pops up in the game immediately, straight away. So you don't need maintenance. That's the cloud. That's the beauty of cloud, you know.
Yeah, that's insane. I really want some land in Sidus Station. How do the in-game assets work? What's going to be valuable for guilds to acquire? And how do these relate to a play-to-earn mechanic?
Well, play to earn is applied towards many different things inside of our game. So play to earn, first of all, is when you play this game, you can do a whole bunch of different actions, such as, for example, you can become a biologist and process medical herbs into the biosynthetic products to use some healings in the battle arenas. And you can sell these healings and biosynthetic products to make a lot of money, right? This is all you can do. You can process these herbs every single day. Just stay in the Sidus Station and process it, and you're going to improve your skills substantially, because you're going to become #1 biologist in the whole station, because your level will be great when it comes to the processing, right? So people will pay you thousands of dollars to get these biosynthetic products or healings, for example, because the healings effect will be much greater comparing to the biologist level 1, right? If you're level 10, your healings will give you a healing for 1,000 HP, for example. When you're just a noob, it will be 50 HP, right? It's a big difference. So people will pay for it a lot of money. If you're a gem cutter and you can process precious stones into the faceted stones, people will pay you a lot of money for you to process this raw precious stone materials into the faceted stones, because faceted stones can be used to improve weapons, gear, armor, gadgets, and many other things, right? Once again, if you're a level 1 gem cutter, you will basically do okay. But if you're a level 20, you will produce the most advanced and legendary precious stones, or faceted stones that you can possibly do in this game, right? And these faceted stones will be adding a lot of advantage to the players when they are upgrading their gear or armor or weapons, because the strength of weapons will be greater, the protection of armor will be greater, and many other things as well. That's one of the mechanics. The other mechanics is obviously when you travel in your space and then you land on the planet, you go around the planet and you see local inhabitants, you can trade with them, you can buy some rare stuff that nobody has in the Sidus Station, you can pay them currency, they can sell an item to you, then you can bring this item to the Sidus Station, put it on the marketplace there, and people will buy it from you for a lot of money, because nobody has a spaceship like you, and you have a spaceship, right? So you can take an advantage of being able to travel, whereas others are not able to travel. So you can charge people money for spaceship travelings. So if you want, if you have, some people are asking you to take them to a certain planet, you can charge them money. You can also make money out of just possession of the spaceship, and you have the transportation capacity. You can make money out of finding some rare NFTs. Like you're running around, you kill an animal, there is a drop, and you can get some elements of armor, or you can find some rare NFT spell from this that animal and stuff like that, or a creature, right? So this is what happens usually when you kill mobs in the games. You know, there are some drops. There will be some pit bosses where, you know, you would not be able to kill it yourself. You would need probably about 100 NFT heroes around you to kill it simultaneously. But once you kill it, there will be legendary items on the floor which you can pick up and sell for a lot of money. There will be you know, things in the battle arenas. If you win the battle arena, you can win some cryptocurrency as well. The same as Illuvium, for example. You fight for Ethereum. The same applies to our battles. You win for a certain currency that people choose to fight for. And you can access the battle by putting a deposit into this battle arena. There will be, man, I'm telling you, millions of ways for you to make money out of it. It's just limitless. And the play-to-earn model opens up the borders quite substantially comparing to the classical games. The first cycle will have loot boxes with creatures, so you can buy the loot box and there will be a creature inside of it. So the PvP battles are 6-on-6. So you can have 3 heroes. Every hero is capable to have 1 creature. So it could be a little dragon, there could be a little robot, or it could be a little cat, for example, and every of those creatures will have certain abilities that help your heroes to be better in something, right? So it will be 6-on-6. In the demo, you see 2-on-2, right? But the actual game, it will be 6-on-6. Now, the first cycle is all about tournaments and battle arenas, right? So forget about spaceships, forget about planets and stuff. There will be nothing like that. This is coming more towards the third stage, the third cycle, which will be the end of the next year. But the middle of the next year will be much more comprehensive stuff. There will be more battle arenas, there will be more tournaments, there will be a lot of things that make people excited to play this game. Once again, don't expect this game to be boring in January. That's just not going to happen. I'm building the game that I want to play myself. So that's basically the spirit that the entire team is working on right now. We don't care about money right now. So many projects out there that are taking advantage of hype around gamify industry. I don't care about this. We don't really care about P2Earn model because that's a logical sequence that moves into this project. But what I'm caring more about is the joy of playing the game. This is the priority #1 for any game that anyone is creating right now in the gamify industry. If they make a game purely for a P2E and because they want to get as much hype as possible around this game, this is a completely wrong approach to take. They have to make a game to be able, you know, to allow people this, to allow people to play and enjoy the process, if you understand what I mean.
I mean, I'm excited because even though, yeah, I mean, we're creating a guild. I've been talking a lot about guilds. There's obviously an incredible need for guilds and teams to come into this. And I think that this is something that if you're in early, you can actually make a lot more money than an SLP, for example, and Axie. And so I think that, like you said, it's an organic opportunity here. I'm sure we could talk literally for hours and hours and hours about the gameplay because when I first came across Sidus and your project, I looked over almost all the materials that you had sent, and that's what made me so bullish on it was the amount of thought that had gone into this. Absolutely stunning, the amount of detail into the roadmap, into the mechanics, the thought process that's gone through this. I know that this has taken an extremely long amount of time and effort to put into it. I want to get into switch gears a little bit and go into kind of the traction that you've got so far. Maybe you can give us some updates on the kind of traction you've gotten from a fundraising perspective, the investors that have come in, and the kind of go-to-markets strategy and the support that you've been receiving.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, we have already completed our fundraising like almost a week ago or so. We are oversubscribed by 50 times, and we have like over 2,500 requests for an allocation from the VC capital funds, without even mentioning the number of people from the retail side. So, we don't need that much money. Like I'm sure many other projects will adjust their token metrics to raise as much as possible. We're all about quality approach. So we are raising funds for marketing, salary expenses, and obviously many other things that are related to the game. But you know, we are 100% sure this game will have a lot of exposure, and will have many people not from the crypto industry but actually gaming industry will talk about us. We'll make a lot of streaming events, and there'll be a lot of things happening. So we have a lot of great gaming communities from Brazil, from Germany, from Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Japan, China, Russia, England, America, Australia, a lot of different gaming guilds, a lot of different gaming communities from classical industry that has nothing to do with play to earn. People just play World of Tanks, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, these sort of people we're talking about, right? So we have a lot of influencers joining in. People are super excited to talk about this game when the actual game is launched. We have some cool backers coming from the crypto side of things. We have Elio Trade, we have Alex Becker, we have CryptoBurp, we have Banter, we have Jake Paul from Antifund, we have a whole bunch of people. You know, BitBoy was happy to join this project as well, so we're happy to have him on board. Sheldon the Sniper and many other people as well. Speaking of the VCs that are bringing a lot of value to this project, we have OKX, we have Animoca, we have Alameda, we have Double Peak, we have Polygon, we have Master Ventures, Jamblock, Network, Spark Digital, AU21, Metaverse, Dextros, TX, TKX, ArcStream, and many, many different ones. There is over 200 people from VC capital funds who joined this project. We'll definitely make an announcement very soon. There'll be a lot of centralized exchanges that we're going to work with. We'll be announcing them very soon as well. So there will be a lot of exciting news coming up for sure. So this project is going to the right direction, and I would be honest with you, we expected that demand because we knew the project is quite good and it's a high quality project, and this is why we haven't rushed into launching anything before we are 100% confident. So we spent 12 months preparing all of these materials and documentation for you to see, and then we are slowly approaching the launch date for the actual game and the IDO, which will happen on the 15th of December on 7 different platforms, including Ignition, Blockpad, Gamify, Redkite, CDFI, SpaceSwap, and TrustPad. So there will be 7 different platforms for you to choose from, and there will be a lot of interest coming from many, many different community members. We already have over 100,000 people in Discord. We have more than 150,000 people in Twitter, and it's been less than 2 weeks since we've sort of joined the Twitter space in a very intense manner. We have over 70,000 people in Telegram, and it's been less than 4 days. We have 20,000 in Vietnamese community. We have thousands and thousands in Spanish community. We have a huge Korean community. We have a lot of people I can talk about, and all of those people are super excited to be a part of this project. And I can see the reason why, because we are making something awesome.
Yeah, definitely awesome. Yeah. I just want to remind anyone watching, we're actually giving away one of the Genesis Sidus Heroes. That'll pop up on the screen here if you haven't seen it initially. We're going to have 2 ways that you guys can win. We're also giving away some whitelist spots on paid Ignition for the public sale. And that'll be for anybody. You don't have to be holding paid, just watching this video. Make sure that you're following Sidus, make sure that you're following me and paid as well. But we're going to be giving these away. In this video, comment below what you find the most interesting about Sidus Heroes, and we'll pick one of the winners from that, as well as we're going to share this video tweet on Twitter, and we'll give you some instructions on there on how to win as well. So, and
yeah, we are looking forward to see you in the game, guys. It will be an exciting part. IDO is important, but the most important part is the actual game launch, which I believe will happen in a very epic manner, and we're super excited for it. So looking forward to see all of you guys being a part of it.